Welcome back to Homestead. I'm trying to get my phone fixed here so I can talk to you guys. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We've had a very productive weekend. We've had a lot of things going on here at the ranch. So welcome back to the channel. I'm in front of my garden spot here that I showed you Friday. I'm going to get into that. First of all, we had a new little surprise show up at our house. We have 2 cats and we had another one show up. If you live out in the country, you know that your cat is everybody's cat. If it's outdoors and their cat's your cat. And this cat was hungry. It had not been eating. It was not fed. So I said, gosh, we don't need another cat. We've already got 2. And if you live out in the country, guys, cats are worth their weight in gold, because if you live in the South, especially, you're going to have timber rattlers, water moccasins, copperheads. You're going to have all 3. And cats eliminate their food source. So I will always have cats. And I said, I just don't know, to my husband. And he was all teddy bear sweetheart. He said, I think you need to come see this one first. So I went out to the garage. It was eating the other 2's food. And it was just the most beautiful little cat. I've already named her Miss Princess. She's here to stay. She's long haired and she's white, but she's tabby on the back. She is just gorgeous. And she whines if she's not in my arms after I held her one time, and she's just a big old baby. So Miss Priss is doing great and everybody's happy. So we've got that. That's part of country living. Tomatoes plants inside. I started tomato seeds 2 weeks ago tomorrow, 13 days ago. And all of my weird tomatoes, chocolate stripes, black from Tula, black creme, black brandywine, pink brandywine, all these kind of things have germinated beautifully. All of my regular tomatoes that were brand new seed from last year, that were kept where all the rest of the seed were, regular, like early girl, better boy, big boy. None of those germinated. I've got 1 early girl. So I don't know what happened. We're so late in the game here that I'll probably have to buy tomato transplants and put them out here. My eggs, really quick. I've not done a video this weekend on eggs. I felt like it was kind of redundant. If you've made it to day 7, you're going to Cadillac all the way through day 18, okay? I may do a couple videos just to show you. At this point, it's just showing the growth, but I want you to hatch your own, and so you'll see what's going on. I've showed you an egg that's no good, a blood ring. I've showed you eggs that are not fertile. At this point, you're good, okay? That's all you got to look for is a blood ring. Let's talk about the garden. So as far as the tomato plants and pepper plants, that's what I'm going to plant here. I did a video Friday showing all this to you guys. This is on a slope, okay? This has only been turned once. My husband turned it one way. If you know anything about tractors, he turned it one way last weekend, and he's going to go back after it lays and turn it the other way and then disc it up. So this is just very raw. You can see grass is still here. It's not even turned all the way under. It'll look a whole lot better once it gets completely disced up and better. But you can see down here that it's black. It looks good, okay? We're told, we're ingrained that black dirt is healthy dirt. Up here, it's red, it's clay, it's pretty rough. I do have sand in this though. Believe it or not, there is sand. I told you that Friday. And I put up a video and showed this to you guys and had some suggestions from people that's been on the channel a long time. This is not for those people, okay? This is for the people messaging me, emailing me saying, I can't grow. What do I do, okay? Read the comments, read what people say. And I've had people make fun of my gardens, okay? Sometimes I delete it because it's so nasty. Sometimes I'll leave it up, but usually I'll just delete it. I don't want you to get discouraged, okay? But if you've tried to give tips like one person said, you know, do the organic stuff and add matter and all that, I'm not talking to you, okay? We're on the same page. I get it. I know what to do. I'm talking to the people that are desperate to grow, that are privately emailing me because they're ashamed to put it out for everybody to see, okay? Oh my gosh, guys, you can grow anywhere, okay? I know this looks rough. That's why I show it to you, because it looks bad. You're not going to get on a YouTube channel and they're going to say, hey, look, I'm planting in this clay dirt over here. They're not going to show you that. That's why they do well, okay? They show you the dream garden. It's not that way. If you live in the South, unless you're at a beach, it's going to look like this. It's clay, or at least in my neck of the woods it is. It's clay, it's shell rock, it's terrible. You can grow, okay? But you're going to come to a fork in the road. You're going to have to spend years amending this soil. And when I mean amending, manure, leaves, compost, all this other stuff. Plastic, I had that recommended. And I have never done that because I'm too cheap, and I don't mind hoeing my garden. I don't mind getting out here with a hoe and getting weeds up. This is going to be a problem because it's right here on grass. It's part of the yard. So I'm gonna have to battle that this year. I know that. You can do that. It's gonna take a long time to get soil right, and I just don't know if it ever will get like potting mix, okay? I have shown you how to do a no-till, no potting mix bed. I've shown you that. It takes a long time for that stuff to break down anyways. Leaves. Well, I don't have leaves here. I've got trees right there, but if you can see the skyline back there, I'm on a mountain. It just, all the leaves go off, and it's so windy, as you can hear right now. Leaves don't even stay in the yard. My husband said I'll never have to use a leaf blower again. At our other house, we couldn't get rid of leaves, so I just raked them up to use them in the garden beds. You can use that, topsoil up under pine trees, pine straw, eggshells, compost, all this other stuff, and manure. That's probably your best bet. That's what I like to do. You don't have to till it. You don't have to disc it. You don't have to turn it under. It's just great, beautiful, active compost, really. You can build something like that. But if you don't have the means and you've got a huge yard and you're out in the country, you can do this, okay? But again, at the fork in the road, you can spend years trying to get it right before you even really attempt to plant anything to eat in. Or you can plant, and I know a lot of people's gonna cringe over this, but you can use fertilizer, okay? I will this year right here. I will try to amend it, but I don't have the stuff to amend it here. I don't have my animal manure. I don't have compost. I don't have anything. So we're in construction still in this house, so I'm going to use fertilizer. There's a lot of shaming over fertilizer. They say that it kills the organisms in the soil. They say that it can cause runoff. Well, I'm on a mountain anyways, okay? They say it can damage the soil over years, and it's bad for the environment and the creepy crawlies in there. This soil's not fertile. There's no earthworms crawling in it. Now, of course, there's organisms in it. Guys, fertilizer's been around. Synthetic fertilizer kicked up in the 1800s. People's been using it for centuries here. Even in the South, growing crops, people's use fertilizer. That's a personal choice you're going to have to make. I'm all for organic farming and organic natural fertilizer like manure, and I'm all for the other two, okay? I just can't pick on that. If you've got clay dirt like this, unless you want to spend a long time amending it, if you need food this year for your family, you're tired of the grocery bills, you want to get out here and grow, you need to grow, that's what I personally would do. That's what I am going to do. Now, I showed you planting lettuce just a couple weeks ago, and I didn't use fertilizer. I used chicken manure. That was my organic active compost bed. There's no need for it. It's already chock full of nutrients. Everything can be bad, okay? Everything can be used and abused and just be bad. If you plant in buckets, what about the chemicals in the bucket? If you buy potting mix, what about the chemicals in the plastic leaching through to the potting mix? Everything, if you use wood for a bed, if it's treated, you've got chemicals in that. Guys, it's tough, okay? It's tough to grow without doing something wrong. I saw this morning on Facebook, I log on to see the weather, that's it. And a lot of y'all are actual personal friends on here. I have nobody left on Facebook. My Facebook got hacked. People were calling me saying, hey, blah, 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 you've got multiple profiles. I don't have anybody on there. It got messed up, and I've not sent back out requests because I never get on there anyways except to check the weather through James Spann. If y'all are from Alabama, you know who I'm talking about. So, but anyway, stuff will still pop up all these groups I'm in. And while I was trying to find him this morning, it popped up, and somebody said, do not use peat moss whatsoever. I said, well, doggone, I use peat moss. My seed starting mix is peat moss, vermiculite, and perlite. It works like a charm. Now, this year I actually bought seed starting mix because I didn't want to fool with putting it all together and moving it in the house, and I didn't want to have to deal with buckets and mixing it, and I just didn't. I just bought a sack. But anyways, that's what I've always used before. And I thought, why can we not use peat moss? Well, I scrolled through all the comments, and everybody's saying, we'll throw it out today. We'll throw out all our seedlings today. The best that I could figure out was they said, well, because how they harvest it is unethical, and it hurts a peat bog somewhere in Maine. Guys, think just, oh, that broke my heart. Everybody was throwing away their plants. Don't do that. If they're already started, I don't know. You make that choice, but you got to be careful at what you listen to, okay? So all the people that's messaging me privately and saying, hey, I'm embarrassed about my garden. Do not be embarrassed, okay? Look, if I can get out here and show you this, then I have no shame, okay? There is no shame. Why? If I grow food. When I first started, I've said this multiple times, in our pasture garden, I grew corn down there. I didn't know what I was doing. The next year I did, but everybody said, oh, that dirt will grow nothing. It looks so bad. Well, guys, I grew 2 deep freezers full of corn out of that poor, terrible spot. It will grow, but I used fertilizer. But I also put chicken manure to it too. If you're worried about fertilizer and killing the biodiversity in the soil, the dirt, whatever you call it, add some compost into it too. If you want to do both ways, you can do both, okay? You can add leaves and manure and everything else and still use the fertilizer. I don't know, your garden may be pretty hot with nitrogen, I don't know. You do what you think's best. The best thing I can tell you is get out here, drop some seed, and watch it grow, okay? You're gonna have to water your garden, it's gonna have sunlight, and you're gonna have to keep weeds out of it, because weeds, if anything, if you live in a hot area, snakes will be curled up in them. If anything, just for that, okay? Weeds take nutrients out of the soil. You want all your nutrients available for your plants, so you don't want grass growing all up through it. We're gonna have to battle that this year. And guys, you can do everything right and still have deer come eat it up, okay? In my lettuce bed, it's beautiful. It's already starting to come up. We've got an armadillo, and we've just not been able to go and make a trap to get him out. But he's been tunneling all through my stuff. It's not a mole, it's an armadillo. He's been around the chicken pens and everything else, so that's a tough part of gardening. Don't make it any harder than it already is. So let's talk about soil again. Unless it's pure rock or pure sand, if you're in the South, I'm talking about my area, Alabama, you can grow, okay? You can grow. If people say it doesn't look good, they're not the ones that have to go deal with it, okay? There shouldn't be garden shaming, but there is, unfortunately. I've been around a lot of people that wear a lot of different hats, but you would think that a garden is like a Manhattan art gallery. People critique it. I don't know why. I see what you're saying, okay? For those that have reached out to me, I see what you're saying. Gardeners want to feel like their way's best. I've done that myself, okay? It's just, I think we're so passionate about it, but if somebody wants to go out here and grow something in a rock, let them try it, okay? You'll be surprised at how resilient Mother Nature is and how resilient soil is, okay? Don't get hung up on that. Don't get fixated on the negative. It's supposed to be fun. And guys, even if a lot of people are going out here to feed their family. That's what they're trying to do this year. A lot of people use it as a hobby. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. If you have just a small little garden, if you use buckets, if you use raised beds, whatever, there's nothing wrong with it. Just the benefit of coming out here, vitamin D, sunshine, physical exercise, and just feeling good. There's nothing wrong with it. I think our hands were meant to be in the dirt. I think that's how we were created. I think it's very beneficial to us. Somewhere deep down, innately, it does something good to us, okay? That's what I think. So, have fun with it. Don't get discouraged. I have a lot of people tell me, where do I even start? Well, I just picked out a spot in the yard, and I said, okay, hubby, go disc it up. So, I mean, he supports me 1,000%, but I just picked a near flat spot, okay? We're up on a mountain, so it's not completely flat, but just pick a spot and go with it. You know, you'll learn. Guys, if you live rural, the biggest problem you're going to have, it's not growing, so don't get hung up on that. It's going to be deer. It's going to be pests. That's the problem you're going to have that I have witnessed. Deer is terrible. A lot of people can't even have gardens because the deer eat it up, okay? You can't help that. You do all you can. You can use human urine, dog urine, hair, soap, fishing line. I've used all the above. I've done it all. There's nothing that will stop deer, okay? I guess except a humongous fence that's heavy duty. Nothing will stop them. Here where we live, I already know I'm going to have massive trouble because this fall, hunting, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, okay? There was no hunting to it. They were just in the yard everywhere, all around the property. So it's not, this is deer daycare up here. So, because we're out so rural and it's just good land that they like. Deer's everywhere though, and they'll eat anything. Don't get hung up on, hey, my garden's not gonna look beautiful. There's a reason certain gardens are in magazines, okay? There's a reason certain gardens are on YouTube. There's a reason that they look the way they do. These people have put every single aspect of their life into making this stuff. It does not mean that you cannot grow, okay? Yours might be ugly, but I got a feeling you're gonna not think it's ugly by the time you put blood, sweat, and tears in that dirt. You're gonna think it's mighty fine and mighty pretty by the time you get done with it, even if you got a 2 foot tall tomato plant, okay? Don't get hung up on it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna plant our plants here, and we're gonna be happy as clams with it. And like I said, guys, that's why we show you this stuff. I don't want you to get discouraged. If I could get one person to grow, I think I've impacted somebody for the better. Because most people that start to garden don't get away from it. They still want to do it in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whatever you so choose. Synthetic fertilizer, completely organic, raised beds, buckets, whatever. Okay, stackable planters, it doesn't matter. You may decide to get a John Deere tractor and go plant 5 acres in corn. It's all what you want to do, okay? Don't get hung up on it and have fun. But the last thing to it, you can plant in bad soil. I don't know growing up where that was ingrained in me, and I don't know where I was taught that. I just naturally knew somehow or heard that dark soil's better. I know one thing, dark soil has earthworms. Earthworms are all up under my chicken pens. There's more matter, there's something they like there, but it still will grow. Okay, it still will grow. Just have a little faith and see what happens with your garden. It does not have to be beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Get out here and have fun. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you next time on Homestead Ranch.